Welcome back to Lawson's Car Reviews. My name's Tristan, and today I have for you this beautiful 2021 Hyundai Elantra, and it is the SEL model. So they have a number of models, and the model that I am really excited to drive is the new Hyundai Elantra N, which has almost 300 horsepower. But for today, we have this, which is the 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. And it is basically the MPG king. It gets 31 in the city and 41 on the highway. So it has gotten really, really good gas mileage. I've been driving this for 3 days while I've been in beautiful Colorado Springs. And I actually expected this car to be a piece of junk, but it has completely turned my opinion around on the base Elantra. And it actually looks pretty good as well. I feel like it looks better than the Toyota Corolla or comparable car. You can't see the exhaust, it's buried under there. So it doesn't have a visible exhaust like the Elantra N, but it does have an itty bitty one under there. But if we just go ahead and take a look, the trunk space is actually quite adequate. Sorry about the light, but it actually has 14.1 cubic feet of space back here and a really large opening. And you actually get a real spare tire in the back. So that is good. But I've been able to fit all kinds of stuff in the back of this vehicle. And I actually love the styling of the lights and the sharp lines and the sharp edges of this car. It looks really good from the side, which is why the Elantra N looks so good. And these daytime running lights look awesome as well. Now, these are just a regular halogen bulb. They're not HID or anything like that. But if you look at the styling of like the front bumper, and this looks like a splitter on this little car. It is matte black on the grill, which means it will probably wear a lot better than it will on if it was gloss black. So I actually like that feature. And if you look down here, this is functional, so it actually opens up and goes through to the wheels here. Not that you need any kind of braking, because any kind of so I am not a huge fan of these wheels. I think they look kind of bland, but the tire size is a 205 55 sidewall on a 16-inch rim, so the car actually drives really nice on these. It drives super smooth. It really surprised me. I didn't expect it to do that. The car also has a cool feature at nighttime where when you open the car, it illuminates around here. And surprisingly enough, if we take a look at the interior, it's actually a lot more roomy than you think it would be. But we'll get to that in a second. Let's just take a quick look under the hood first. Okay, so lurking under the hood, as I said earlier, is a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. It makes 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque, which doesn't sound like a lot, but honestly, once you get to speed, it actually picks up quite well. It has a CVT transmission, gets 31 miles to the gallon in the city and 41 miles to the gallon on the highway. The car weighs about 2,886 pounds curb weight, so it's quite a light car. And its performance specs, even though you're not going to be racing anyone, is its 0 to 60 is in about 8.3 seconds, and the quarter mile is in about 15.45 seconds. So it's pretty slow, but remember, this is made to be an economical car, not a fast car. I do like the look under the hood though. I like that it's not covered by too much plastic stuff. And it looks like it would be super easy to work on. And even though it has a prop rod, I really don't mind, because it's positioned so far back that it's not really going to get in the way if you are planning on working on the car. Now moving on to the interior, this is a 5-passenger seat car, but to be quite honest with you, there's really only enough room for about 4 adults total, but you can fit 3 children back here pretty comfortably. Let me go ahead and get in. You can see how much leg room it's got for someone as tall as me. So the car, the front seat is in my seating position, and as you can see, my legs are on the seat, but if you sit with your legs open and there's only 2 of you in the back, there's more than enough room. So like I said, there's enough room if it is just 2 of you in the back of this vehicle, because you can kind of spread your legs out. But if you have somebody sitting in the middle, another adult, then it's definitely going to be cramped. So think about it this way. You can fit 3 children in the back, but if you have adults, you're only going to fit 2. The other thing that I don't like that's missing from this model is there's no seat pockets on either of the seats, and this plastic material is going to get scratched very easily, so bear that in mind. No vents or no USB connectivity in the back of this vehicle, so if people are on the phone or messing about, you know, playing games on a tablet, you're going to have no way to charge it back here. But you might be able to get that on upgraded models. Now, if we take a look at the interior, it is actually quite nice looking. Not even gonna lie, it looks way better than what I expected it to look on the interior. I'm not a huge fan of that funky looking steering wheel, but once you use it for a while, it's actually very comfortable. And I understand the reason why they made the shape of it the way they did, and that is so that it doesn't block any of the dials when you're driving, and it actually works quite well in practicality. The one thing I don't like is I'm not a huge fan of that screen and the infotainment. It kind of looks a little bit cheap, and it's only an 8-inch screen, but you can upgrade it to a 10-inch screen with a Bose sound system, which is a 8-speaker Bose sound system. Now, speaking of the sound system, this one is the bass version, and the sound on it sounds decent, but I really don't like the look of these graphics. I think that they could have done a better job with that. But it does come standard with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which I think on a base model vehicle is pretty good. And then you do have this nice shifter that controls the CVT transmission. You can put it in gear and slap it over, and then you can actually change gears manually, even though they're just simulated gears. And you do have different drive modes. So if you press this button down here and you look in the dash, it will change it from normal, sport, and smart. Now, I'll be honest, whenever I've changed the modes and then started driving, I don't really feel a huge difference in how the car drives. But I do like the look of these gauges. I think that it looks quite good. And like I said about the steering wheel, it is a funky shape, but it's when you're actually driving it and you start to drive like this, or you start to drive like this, it actually has lots of different ways that you can hold it, and it feels quite comfortable. This one is not a leather wrap steering wheel, but in the higher trims, you can get it leather wrapped. The glove compartment is a good size. Probably just a little bit smaller than what it is on my Chevy Impala. And then you get two drinks holders here, which are different sizes. This one's a larger one. That one is a slightly smaller for a Coke can. This one couldn't fit like a Gatorade in it. And then you've got a decent size pocket here. You also get two USB ports down here and then a 12 volt. And even on this standard model, you can get dual climate control, which is a nice feature. This particular one does not have heated seats, but you can get the car with heated seats. I'm not sure if you can get cooled seats too, but I'm pretty sure that that's probably an option on these vehicles. And I like the style of where the vents are. I think it gives the car a very clean look. And even though this is it's not the Sonata, so it's not the huge model, this car feels way more spacious than you think it would. So I am 6'4", and my legs can stretch all the way out into the straight position, which is pretty impressive. And the seat is actually not all the way back. Like I said, just to show you, my legs are all the way straight and the seat's not even all the way back. And it's manual seats. And if I slide the seat all the way back, I've actually got way more room than I need when it comes to leg room when driving. So this car is very spacious, very roomy, and I think that that's awesome because it means that you don't have to get the larger Sonata if that price point is too high for you. Now, let me mention just a couple more things before we take this for a spin. When you put the car in reverse, the backup camera is actually incredibly clear. And you do have lines showing the trajectory. But when I say it's clear, I know it might not come across that way over video, but it's so clear. It's one of the clearest cameras I've actually seen on a car. And that is actually really impressive. The car also has lane keep assist down here. It's got cruise control. It also has where you can press this button and the car moves and guides along with the lines of the road. It has standard blind spot monitoring that flashes in the mirrors. So it has some really cool standard safety features that a lot of other cars do not have for this price point, which I don't even think I mentioned that yet, but it starts from $20,900, which is a steal. And there's actually way more safety features than what I even mentioned, so I'll put them up on the screen. But let's go ahead and take this thing for a spin and see how it does, because this is the part that actually really impressed me, was the way the car drove. So one more quick thing to note, this is the standard Hyundai key fob, so all you got to do is keep it in your pocket. The car is push start, so all you got to do is hold your foot on the brake and press that button and it will start up the car. Okay, so we're setting out in this 2021 Hyundai Elantra SEL trim, and the first thing I noticed when I drove this is when you're at a standstill, the car is extremely quiet. At first, I thought that it was doing the whole engine shut off, but it actually wasn't. The car was still on, but it's just an extremely quiet car. Which if you like quiet cars, that is a good thing, because it is really quiet. And it drives very, very, very smooth. I mean, considering this is pretty much a compact car / mid-size sedan, it just has so much room in this car and it drives very well. The steering is light, excuse me, but because the car is light, the steering being light feels fine, and the turning radius is excellent. I have been able to make U-turns so easily in this car that I would not be able to make in many of my other cars that I've driven. Feels really good. The other thing that I will note that is excellent about this car is it is smooth and it's really quiet on the highway. So some cars that I've driven, as soon as you get to highway speeds, there starts to be lots of wind noise. This is very quiet even on the highway. So it's quiet when you're driving in the city, it's quiet when you're on a standstill. When you're going at high speeds, it's quiet. And because it's only 147 horsepower, it does take a little bit to pick up, and it doesn't have the best passing power. But I will say it is faster than what you think it is. And I even took this to Pikes Peak, which is basically the giant mountain in Colorado Springs. And it had enough power to get us pretty much to the top before they closed it off because there was too much snow, because this is the snowy time of year there. So I've been really impressed with pretty much everything about this car. Even these cloth seats are very comfortable. And a lot of cloth seats are not comfortable. And the visibility all the way around in this car is excellent. So I don't feel like there's really any blind spots. And even if you do have some blind spots, the car has excellent safety features as far as blind spot detection. It's got, when you use the backup camera, it feels like it can see around corners. It can see in places that you can't see. And it will beep if there's something coming. And the car also does have features where it will brake for you too. So it's actually a really excellent driving car. So for the money that it costs, for all the features that you get with it, I actually think that this is one of the best driving smaller sedans that I've ever driven. And that is saying something. The only thing that I don't like about the car is all of the cheap plastics. Like this handle feels really cheap. It feels like I could rip it off. And everything up here is very cheap and plasticky. But other than that, I mean, this is a cheap economy budget car. So you kind of expect it to be that way. But if we're just talking about features of the vehicle, how it drives, how much it saves you on gas, then this is, I'm telling you, you're going to save so much money in gas with this car that it's going to blow your mind. Not to mention the way how it drives as if it's a lot more expensive than what it is. Because I really have been enjoying the driving experience the 3 days that I've had this vehicle. Okay, watch this. Let me show you this turning radius. I'm going to do a U-turn on this road right now. Watch how easy it is. Super easy. The steering wheel is super light when you do it. But let me also show you, while we're here, these beautiful mountains. Look at that. That's crazy. And that is the mountain that this car was able to get up, which in total is very, very high. Just Google how high Pikes Peak is. It's one of the highest spots in the whole of America. Anyway, guys, this car, it sounds stupid because I'm telling you that a $20,000 Hyundai Elantra is awesome, which sounds like I'm talking pure nonsense, but for the price, it's a good car, and it looks good. I mean, minus the wheels. I don't like the wheels. You can always upgrade the seats, and you can always, get better wheels and maybe option in heated seats, or the the upgraded stereo system. But for what you get for this price, and I didn't even mention, you get Hyundai's amazing warranty, which is 100,000 miles on the powertrain and 60,000 miles for the bumper-to-bumper warranty, which obliterates anybody else's warranty. And on top of that, it's got a 5-star safety rating. So what more can you really ask from a cheap car that is economical, very quiet, very smooth, drives great, looks good on the outside, has a good interior, has a great presence to it, great daytime running lights. I mean, you can't really ask for more for the price. So I'm going to go ahead, put my Lawson score up on the screen. I apologize if the camera was shaky because I forgot my camera equipment this time and I'm just using my phone, which the camera is not the best. But yep, I'm going to put my score up on the screen. Thanks for watching the video. Comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.